Our environment often influences our behavior, and this story features a student who made choices abroad that she might never have made at home. As you watch, reflect on how you might respond to a new setting when you travel. How might you be more intentional in assessing risks and making decisions about your safety and well-being?
I don't have many regrets in life. I like to think I don't have any. But what happened that summer in Nepal, during my independent research project, was quite the exception. I live a pretty conservative lifestyle when it comes to most things. I try to avoid taking risks at all costs. If there's a 20% chance of rain, I'll have an umbrella in my holster. My life demands order, structure, and careful calculation. Spontaneity is a foreign concept to me. I eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch every day. Peanut butter smooth, never crunchy, and jelly strawberry and seedless. When I stepped off the plane in Nepal that summer, it's like I transformed into a different person. In my mind, it was the trip of a lifetime. I was young, in good physical shape. I felt invincible. I wanted to do it all, see it all. I was determined to make it a trip I would never forget. It was the one day out of the week we had off from our field work where we were free to unwind, explore, do as we wished. My friend Kelsey and I caught wind of local whitewater rafting excursions and decided that we could use one last thrill, one last adventure to cap off the trip. If you've never been whitewater rafting, there are 5 levels to choose from based on intensity of rapids. We chose level 4. We didn't read too far into it. We didn't want to psych ourselves out. We just went for it. I remember the crewmaster asking us if we had any previous experience whitewater rafting. We lied. It wasn't long till we realized that level 4 rapids were no joke. The last thing I remember our crewmaster's translator saying was, "Big, fast water here," before I was thrown airborne off the raft, landing headfirst onto a giant boulder. The next thing I remember was regaining consciousness underwater. I was escorted to the nearest medical facility. No one spoke English. The doctor came in, took a look at me, left the room, came back with a bottle of medication which was written in Sanskrit, then sent me on my way. The last 5 days in Nepal, I was coughing up blood and brown phlegm. When I arrived back in the U.S. and got checked out, I discovered that I had shattered my shoulder, breaking 3 bones, and the brown phlegm I was coughing up, ready for this? They were the eggs of parasites that I had contracted from sucking in the river water. When people ask me about my time in Nepal, of course I mention my rafting fiasco, but I also think of the gorgeous landscape and how much I learned, well, about me. Looking back, I didn't really think about risk. I was just too caught up with the adventure. If by sharing my story I could get others to learn from my mistakes, it would make me feel a lot better about that experience.
Jenna's story introduces the concepts of risk assessment and tolerance. Risk assessment is the identification, evaluation, and estimation of the levels of risks involved in a situation, their comparison against benchmarks or standards, and determination of an acceptable level of risk. Risk assessment helps you determine possible dangers and opportunities associated with certain behaviors, decisions, and circumstances. Practicing risk assessment allows you to better understand your own risk tolerance and make appropriate choices. Research shows that international travel impacts the ways we normally assess risk. Jenna's experience in Nepal is a real-world example of how being in a foreign environment changed her perception of risk. Jenna mentioned that before she went abroad, she avoided risks at all costs, but when overseas, she felt invincible. Before heading overseas, it's important to understand the distinction between risk assessment and risk tolerance. Risk assessment means evaluating a given situation. Risk tolerance refers to how comfortable you are in that situation. Everyone has different levels of risk tolerance. What might feel comfortable to you at home may feel risky or unfamiliar while traveling. To begin understanding your level of risk tolerance, think about how you spend your time on campus. What do you like to do in your free time? Do you enjoy adventure and risk, or are you more conservative? What do you consider risky in Ann Arbor? Now, think about how you may spend your time abroad. What do you think you will do in your free time while overseas? Will you seek out adventurous activities? If so, which ones? What do you consider risky while traveling? Use the following strategies to help mitigate risks while you are abroad. First, assess your risk tolerance. As you travel, make a point to stop and check where you are on the risk continuum. This helps you stay aware and make informed decisions. Second, hold yourself accountable. Talk to a trusted friend or individual about your upcoming travels. What are you looking forward to? What are you worried or anxious about? Discuss some of the potential risks you may face and how this person can help keep you accountable for risk mitigation. Third, use best practices for travel. How do you manage risks on campus? Many of those same strategies can be used to manage risks abroad. Avoid being out at night alone. Travel in groups whenever possible. Carry a phone. Always tell someone where you are going, and practice situational awareness. Fourth, remember that you are still in real life. Wherever you go in the world, consequences and dangers are real. They don't go on a break. However, not every risk will result in a negative or dangerous consequence. Taking measured risks can result in tremendous growth and be a healthy tool to learn and expand your perspective. Don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone, but do so in a way that keeps you healthy and safe.